Deeply anticlimactic, but hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me, Noah. This is such a treat to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here, and I am so happy to know that we're here to support a good cause and hopefully entertain people and all that stuff. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, so long as we're giving people a laugh and hopefully encouraging some people who have the means to, help some other folks out.
Really at the heart of something like this, we should be trying to solve all of the problems with the movie. I think that should be what the number one goal here is to really improve on, frankly, some mediocre choices. Cheers.
And of course, you have the most epic mug of all epic mugs. I am deeply jealous of your Marta mug, your Harlan mug.
Thank you. I think it's definitely the Marta mug now, not the Harlan mug anymore. Yeah.
The mug formerly known as Harlan's.
Yeah. It's like Excalibur or something. It's like whoever has the mug has the power.
Thor's hammer.
Kind of thing.
It's Thor's hammer. The mug is the socio-political Thor's hammer, and Marta has taken it up and is wielding it beautifully, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
So clearly you're not serious about thinking that there are things that need improving upon with Knives Out.
No, it's a perfect film. What are you talking about?
I was going to say Ryan would be pissed.
How do you improve on perfection? You can't improve on perfection.
You truly cannot. That is a very valid point. And speaking of perfection, and all that is Knives Out, how did you come to be involved with the project? Like, you've worked with Ryan, obviously, a lot over the years. So how did this fall into your lap?
Sort of the way that everything since he hired me for Brick has fallen into my lap when it comes to Ryan and the gang. He started working on it and would kind of give me a few breadcrumbs here and there and sort of let me know kind of little hints of what he was working on, and then when he was ready, he sent me the script. And at this point in our friendship, we send each other material just to get an idea of whether it holds water, and get honest. We can be pretty brutally honest with one another. And so I don't think I definitely wasn't thinking what I would be doing on it. But I read a pretty early draft of the script, and this character was in there, and he said, after I gave him some notes and thoughts, he said, and what do you think about playing this guy? And I thought it was great because it's a great script. It was a great script in its first draft, and it was a great script by the time we shot it.
Is that normal for him? Does he usually hammer out pretty good first drafts?
Yes. it's really irritating.
There's always that one guy, and it's like, why are you so damn good at this? It's so intimidating.
It really is. What's really frustrating is that it comes out so good and then gets so much better that there's no whatever we would normally consider to be like a appropriate spectrum for success and quality is sort of like there's us and then there's him.
Yeah. So did you want to play Trooper Wagner off the hop, or did you have your eye on Benoit?
Well, my Southern accent can't hold a candle to Daniel's. No, I think, I at that point I was reading it, not, I wasn't looking for a role, and, I didn't know whether or not it was going to be a situation where I'd have a fun, day in an audio booth like Joe Levitt, who also, works on Ryan's movies all the time, one of our good friends, and, or if I don't think I wasn't really thinking specifically what I would get to do. But it was really, I will tell you, it was really nice to be able to play like a nice dad, and not like like a drug addict or like a creeper or like a guy with a big gun who has to come after you. Like I just got to be like a fun dad, like ties, wearing like fun ties and comfortable shoes. It's great.
And you are, at least now, you are a new dad for the second time. You said you have
Yes.
you have an infant at home now.
Yes, we have a 1 month old baby boy who arrived in the middle of all this craziness. And at the time we shot Knives Out, our daughter June was a year old.
Okay, so
yeah.
How has that been? Even just dealing with quarantine is hard enough as it is, but how has it been going through quarantine with a newborn?
I mean, listen, we're very, very lucky that we're able to be present, and we don't have to neither of us have like frontline jobs that require us to have to go and put ourselves on the line and risk anything. So we can be on maternity and paternity leave right now, and it's sort of like having the world also on parental leave with you. It's so it's crazy. It's absolutely nothing that like there's no guidebook for this, but we're happy and we're healthy and we're lucky.
And that's really all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
And have you guys been going a little stir crazy, or you're keeping your sanity?
Oh man. Well, I mean, when babies are like a month old, they're like, it's like a large hoagie or burrito with eyes. You know what I mean? Like it's like a really nice loaf of challah or something. And so he's fine. He doesn't care. He's chilling. The toddler she misses her friends, and she started going to like school for a couple hours, a couple days a week, and that went out the window, and she can't go to the park, and it sucks.
Yeah, that's hard. But what else have you been doing during quarantine? Like, has anything else like this kind of come up with kind of charity? Or, well, not really charity, because we're not really taking money to give to the Daily Bread Food Bank, but kind of opportunities.
I haven't had an opportunity to do something that actually contributes to the greater good.
So was this a bit of a surprise for you?
What I mean, I was a very welcome surprise. I've been able to, in all seriousness, I've been able to do some fun podcasts and some fun talks, and it's been nice to be able to, connect like this sometimes. There's still like, in terms of colleagues and stuff, like I know people have movies in post and they need people to help watch their movie and like talk to them about it and read scripts. And so there's like a little bit of like bits and pieces of work, but it's all pretty surreal. But it was really nice to be able to come and do this, knowing that it actually is like for a really good reason, and not just like it's actually like designed to like feed people, something that's like the like top important thing to do.
Well, I am the proud Canadian, the proud Torontonian. So given that this is the first charity that we've decided to include, I kind of felt like I had to stick to my hometown. Have you ever been to Toronto?
I have been to Toronto many times. And I quite like it. I was there. In fact, we premiered the first time we showed Knives Out to a big audience. It was in Toronto, and
at TIFF.
I have lots of friends in Toronto, and I've been I think I've probably done TIFF like 3 or 4 times with some movies, awesome. And then some smaller festivals. Toronto After Dark premiered a couple movies there, and it's a great town. I
think I had the good fortune of catching Knives Out at the press screening for at TIFF, and it was like fighting tooth and nail to get a spot in that screening. It was packed to the gills, overflowing. Like it was absolutely
good.
intimidating. But I loved it so much, I had to watch it again at Fantastic Fest. So very shortly thereafter, totally different film festival, had to make it out again. What's it been like, kind of with the response to the film? Were you, because it feels like it was kind of this overwhelmingly positive response, especially fans of like Agatha Christie and Columbo, just loving this kind of new twist on that very classic mystery.
Oh, we have, I think I could speak for like all the folks that do this, Ryan and his producer Ram and Steve, who is his cameraman, shot everything, Nathan, who does all the music, and then like me and Joe. And, there's this group of like, I don't know, let's say like a dozen people who have all been working together for like 15 years and all under Ryan. And I think we all always have like a really fun time doing it, but it's often difficult to, it's often difficult to show people, to expect people to have the same kind of fun watching it that you have making it, right? Because the movie might be like Looper, where there's like really intense emotional stuff and like, a lot of like grown-up action and stuff like that. And so I think it was really nice to make a movie that gave the audience a similar experience to what we had making it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Absolute sense.
That's been really awesome. It's just been that, like, I feel like when people are like having a good time, I'm like, well, now you know how we felt doing it for you,
Well, it's nice. I've been on a few different set visits. I do some writing for Fangoria, so I've done some set visits for like indie films where, like, I did one in Ireland, and it was such a tight-knit group that everybody felt like a family, versus like bigger budget films. But even when you're still doing that, you find that there's this interesting little connection. So from what you're telling me, it's kind of like working with your family.
Yes, very much so. I mean, there's our little tight group that, grows every movie. Basically, every movie there's people who become very, very close,
Mm-hmm.
and who hang out a lot after the movie. But generally, I mean, that's one of the things that is so incredible about Ryan, is that it always feels like home. And I think even when people sort of step into it who don't know him very well, or it's their first time working with him, I think that's something that they immediately connect to. It's like, this is a homey, warm, comfy, fun environment. And and so I think from on a movie like Knives Out, that's so dependent on the ensemble, as much as it rests on Marta's shoulders and Benoit's shoulders, to sort of be, Marta to be the hero and Benoit to sort of be the angel, or angel mostly, on her shoulder, and kind of push it along. I think that everybody was really excited to sort of be in the same place, to be in that same kind of fun house together, literally and figuratively, right? Yeah.
And what was it like getting involved, like getting to work with people like Lakeith Stanfield and, Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Shannon and Daniel Craig? Like, you say this is an ensemble, and you're not even kidding remotely. The cast is insane.
Yeah. It was a little intimidating.
Fair, totally fair.
I mean, you show up for work and there's like your favorite actors. You know what I mean? like,
no big deal. Totally composed. Yeah, this is fine.
But I mean, Lakeith was probably at the time that he and Ryan agreed to do it. He was probably the actor I was like watching the most in that time. I mean, still to this day, now he's like my buddy. He's like, I'm like, that's like But like, he was a guy who I was like, everything he does is incredible. And he's like, you know, and he's like 28 or something. And you're like, wait, you just did like 5 incredible things in a row. And you're like, and so that was, and I spent the most amount of time with him and with Daniel, obviously. And they both sort of like, maybe I'm just in tune with it because I'm like a real legit like 24/7 goofy dad, but they both have kind of goofy dad energy a little bit.
I think you've just coined a new term.
What's that?
I think you've just coined a new term. Goofy dad energy.
Goofy dad energy, yeah. So I think that the 3 of us connected very quickly on that, you know, there's something very like, and like goofy dad energy, like the Venn diagram between like goofy dad energy and like theater nerd energy is like close to a solid circle, and they both have that as well. I'm hoping I'm not like blowing up their spots. I'm like, they're like these 2 like super cool, they're like these 2 like super cool badass guys, but you know,
hey, it's
anyway,
nice
so
to
that
know
was,
even the
that
coolest.
was,
It's nice to know even the coolest badasses have, you know, that theater kid just kind of sitting inside them, waiting to flourish like the rest of us.
We were rehearsing that Sondheim moment in the car for like weeks.
That was beautiful.
I mean, it's that kind of stuff though, where we would all like show up and sing Sondheim. It was awesome. It was great. Yeah, so you know, I felt like I connected with those 2 guys, you know, really early on, and then everybody else, you know, people would sort of show up and just be really cool and be really nice and be ready to like party, you know, be ready to, you know, and also I think that there's definitely a sense of like, you know, on a set like that with a script like that, nobody wants to be the weak link. Everybody wants to, because you know, you're like, well, wait, everybody was everybody else's favorite actor. So you don't want to screw it up for the person who you look up to, who might be like also your friend and your colleague, but you're like, wait, this is like, we gotta come correct.
Yeah. Well, I think I remember seeing, I'm a big fan of like Vanity Fair and everything. They do those kind of deep dives where performers will do kind of like a long look through their career. And Jamie Lee Curtis did one, and she was talking about Knives Out and had said apparently that it was hearing that Michael Shannon was involved was like the turning point. She was like, okay, I'm in, like, let me in, which is kind of, it's fascinating to think of someone like Jamie Lee Curtis having anyone that she's like, oh, I need to work with you. I idolize you. That seems so surreal to me.
Well, how do you think they got Daniel? Because it was after I agreed to do the role of Trooper Wagner that Daniel said, if Noah Segan's going to do it, I've got some time before Bond. I'm here. I really have. I've been dreaming of working with and meeting Noah Segan for years. I've had to change my number 3 times because Daniel Craig was trying to get in touch with me.
This is a very cruel trick for a particularly gullible person. You realize I'm sitting here going, oh, wow, that's fascinating.
No, I'm so sorry. It's all I can do. It's like bad dad jokes now. That's all I can do.
If you're in good company, anyone who appreciates not only a good dad joke, but a good pun, it's me. So well done. Very well done. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long because again, I know you have a newborn baby and your hands are tied.
We have a few more, but if there's anything else, I mean, I know it's sort of like not like a this isn't like a real Q&A where
it's very informal.
Yeah, and we're not you know, maybe if people are on Twitter or something, they can like, you know, tweet at me.
We can do like an AMA kind of thing.
They could like tweet at me and I'll be like, this is the answer to your question. I don't know.
I think we can arrange that. Maybe we'll coordinate something. But so I guess, okay. I guess to tie things up, to wrap things up, what are you just thinking around quarantine, and we're doing this for a charity and everything, and what we're all looking forward to while we're, you know, doing our part and staying home and all that jazz. What are you looking forward to the most when all of this is over and we're safe to go outside and mingle again?
Oh, just like a lot of French kissing. everybody. Like dogs especially. Like I just want to go to a dog park and just like kiss dogs.
I think you need to meet as you bring up dogs. I have to.
Oh no.
I have to. Dante, come here. He's sleeping by my feet, and he is the goodest boy.
Oh my! Oh, that's a big dog.
He's a little boy. He's like corgi sized, but not a corgi. He is a Swedish Falcon.
What's his name?
Dante.
Dante.
And
you look like a Dante. Oh, he's looking at me. Hi. Hello.
He is a fan. Hello. I'm sure. You're a good boy.
Yes, I'm looking forward to just like meeting new and interesting dogs. And you know, I mean, seriously, like going places with my kids and I hope, I mean, this is like, you know, this is getting into like real, you know, 1,000 point of light shit, but if not now, when? You know, I really hope that when this is all over, people are able to, you know, treat each other better than they did before it happened. I hope that like the legacy for this shit is not how fucked up everything is, but how much better we can be for it.
100%. 100%. So, and I so hope you're right about that.
That kind of starts with making sure people like have food and stuff. So thank you for arranging this. I want to like not like, let's not forget again, like it's pretty basic, people. Like you give somebody something to eat and, you know, they can like live. It's all
the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Give someone a roof over their head, a shirt on their back, and food in their belly. So that's why.
And healthcare and a place to live and all. Yeah, you know, education. Let's keep going a little bit. A little bit more.
I didn't want to bring up the healthcare thing because as a Canadian, I'm told I can be a little brash sometimes about universal healthcare, but also universal healthcare. You gave me an in, so I feel less uncomfortable.
But I mean, it stings every time I hear it, but I kind of have to, you know. Again, it's we you know, let's get it together, people. Come on, let's get real. What's going on?
Yeah,
you know, I'm sitting here in my garage, just trying to tell you, feed people, give them health care, send them to school, you know,
all that,
get real.
All that good stuff. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time and for helping to raise some awareness to the Toronto Daily Bread Food Bank and to help promote everything that we're doing. I think I speak on behalf of everybody who's participating in this, that we thank you so much for your time. It's truly invaluable, really.
Well, I'm sure I can speak for Ryan and the rest of the cast and the crew and how much, you know, what an honor it is to have people, you know, perform the material and breathe new life into it. And I know a lot of the people who were doing the reading and they're very talented. Not the gentleman playing Trooper Wagner. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but he should stay on his side of the street. Let's just put it that way. There's one Trooper Wagner in town. So I'm sure he's wonderful. You're great. You're great. I'm sure you're great. I can't even do that. I can't even do it. I'm sorry. You're wonderful.
This is funny. I do the same thing. I try to make bad jokes. I try to make jokes like that at the expense of some of my friends, and I immediately follow it up with, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm terribly sorry."
Yeah, I can't. This is not the time for. Let's just everybody be nice.
Well, I will let you get back to everything, and thank you again for your time.
Oh, thank you, Ariel. This was such a pleasure. I really appreciate you thinking of me.
We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.